My first job, my friend got it, Chris Hill. He got me introduced to a guy called Jonathan Rothwell, and it was for EPC Global, and it was recruitment. And basically what I was doing is I was searching through CVs online, and I was working for the rail industry, so Network Rail, places like that. Searching through CVs online, and then I was contacting these potential candidates for the jobs. And most of the time, the candidates that I had to get in touch with was via email. And I'd have to email the candidate, and I'd have to sit down, I'd write the email. But because of my dyslexia and I just can't, I'm not very good at writing emails. If anyone's ever had a text off me, they'll probably understand. Or if anyone's seen my social media, it's always, it's got some mistakes in there quite often, but that's part of me. So I ended up getting pulled into the office after about 3 months, and I was given probably one of the best bits of advice, and it was my first kind of touch into a bit of tough love that I actually really needed. So thank you, Jonathan Rothwell. He turned around to me and he said, this isn't working, Ryan. It's taking too much time for you to write an email, send it to your supervisor, for him to then spell check it, send it back to you, then you're sending it on. So he said that you need to do something face to face. You need to do something where you can get your personality across and you can talk to people, because when you get in front of people, you talk so confidently, and you're naturally are good at socializing. So taking that on board, I was like, what do I do? What do I like? And I remember at that point, obviously, I'd kickboxed for quite a couple of years, but as I was doing that, I was starting to weight train, and I loved it. I mean, one of my biggest idols was Jean-Claude Van Damme. And I looked at his physique and looked at his martial arts, and I was like, that is sick. That's what I want to do. But I was loving the gym, and I felt naturally compelled when I was there to help other people. If I was doing something wrong, I was always quite open-minded. I'd always ask the older, more advanced trainees or trainers what I was doing wrong and how could I improve. And my dad was a massive, massive help. My dad took me to the gym when I was about 13, and he would never let me lift heavy weights. He would just make me do perfect form all the time. And I am a real stickler for executing the exercise properly. And that gave me a massive, great foundation for helping other people. And I was thinking to myself, well, I love training people. I love training myself. So is there a job where I can get paid to do this? And I found out there was. It was fitness instructing or personal training. So I started my first actual gym instructor job at Aston Leisure Centre. And I was working about 3 or 4 different gyms. I was working Aston Leisure Centre, I was working in Maltby, I was working in Rotherham, and I was working in Sheffield Tennis and Hallam. And during them 4 jobs, I was also studying for my level 3 PT qualification. And gyms back then, the job was different back then. Like there was no help for personal trainers. There was no help. There was no extracurricular courses. Everything was kind of like self-done. You had to self-educate, go on YouTube, look at magazines. But I was working from 6 in the morning, and I was doing a shift for 6 while 10. Then I'd fly from Aston through to Rotherham and work a shift 2 till 6, and I'd fly from Rotherham to Maltby and do a job from like just shutting the gym 7 till 10. And I did that continuously for like nearly 2 years. And I think that's like 19 to 20, 21 type of age. And that's where my work ethic, it was a job, and it was tiring getting up at them times, but I loved it. I didn't think I would actually get paid for training people. So for me to work in a gym, I didn't mind the traveling, gaining experience from other personal trainers and people higher than me. That's kind of where I grow my foundation of learning to be a personal trainer.